So, man.
Yeah. What's up, everyone?
Welcome back, Romain.
Welcome back.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
I think it's 2024 already. Happy
Is
New
it?
Year. I
Happy
think so.
New Year.
I'm pretty sure.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How was your New Year?
Man, I had a great time.
Yes.
Yeah,
What'd you do?
New York City, saw the fucking...
Ball drop?
Yeah. What about you? What'd you do?
I don't remember.
What will you have done in the future?
I'll be on a plane traveling from Sydney to whatever last New Year, and I'll be celebrating New Year every hour for like 12
the next
hours.
10 years. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Okay. We just had lunch, so we are a little
We're
bit
a bit tired, yeah.
Yeah.
We had light lunch this time. No piadinas.
Caesar salad. Caesar salad. Very good.
Really good place. Can recommend.
Yeah, Grease Monkeys in
The
Neuchâtel.
name here.
Shout out for feeding us. Now
Yeah,
we're a
it's
little
great.
bit tired, but we'll pull
But
through.
we're ready for a nice episode. Nice, short, and quick, sturdy episode. Do you want to know what we're talking about?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you guys for
Thank you. That's it.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about preparation and why it is key. Because everybody says preparation is key, but why is it actually
What the
key?
fuck do they
And
mean by
what
that?
do they mean by that?
Yeah.
And how do they actually prepare? And why is it so important? And what makes the difference? And how do you go about it?
It
How
feels
do I
like
go
you're really
about it?
prepared about
It
this
does.
topic.
You know why? I think because I fucking did. No,
Yeah.
we're joking because Romain did absolutely not prepare for this batch recording here in
I forgot.
November
I forgot.
in beautiful Neuchâtel. But that's okay because Phil did his homework and we have some episodes to talk about.
That's nice.
So big applause for Phil today.
This podcast would not be possible without you, Phil.
It needs both of us. But today, I was the saver of the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Tomorrow it will be you, Romain. Yeah, preparation. Everybody says it's key, but yeah, we want to talk about how is it key and why and how we go about it, and why does it make such a big difference? And maybe for people who don't have too much experience yet,
I think
why is it so important?
preparation when it comes to making videos or like commercials or whatever, preparation is the thing that makes a difference between having a shit show of a shoot or having a shoot running as smoothly as possible and being able to get everything done within the time you're given, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people starting out or like coming from video, shooting themselves, kind of progressing into like bigger sets and having people on set and maybe actors, just struggle with that because they seem to not find out why they can produce images or stories or videos, whatever, films, like the people they look up to, and they don't know why. And I think preparation is a very big part of it.
Yeah, the more people you work with, the more preparation you have to do, and like the larger the project, the more you have to prepare. You have to be.
And so just to ask the first question, why do you think it's so important? Why, like, okay, we say it and it's true, but why? What's actually why does it make the difference?
I think making a cool video, making a cool commercial, whatever you need to do, making something that like looks good, but also convey the message it has to convey when it comes to commercial, for instance. There are a lot of different pieces that have to come together in order for the video to be successful. And that's the main difference between like, doing run and gun solo shooting stuff where you can just like spray and pray. When you work with more people, there are a lot of different like small details of stuff that have to be coordinated in order for you to be able to work fully as a DP or director or like whatever role you have, it doesn't matter. But like everybody has to pull on the rope in the same direction in order for the project to be successful. And I think that's when preparation is key, because like there's no way you walk in on a set with like 5 or 10 people that don't know anything about the project and like and that everybody would like be coordinated at, like doing the same thing, like doing everything they can to like get the best results. And I think that's what preparation is all about, just like making sure everybody's on the same page and yeah, having the same goal and like knowing your roles and like knowing where you can help and where you can't help. Yeah. And where your help is not demanded as well. Like it's very important.
I think the biggest part is also like decisions having done decisions before you go to set, because it's nice and all to go on set and be creative and kind of figure it out as you go if you're a one-man band. And but as soon as, like you said, if you have a crew and you need to brief people and people need to know what to do and what they're actually there for, it just like there's no way around knowing basically everything. You need to know everything before you go to the set and shoot, because it's like people say, I want to be creative on set, I don't want to fix everything. That's nice, but I think true creative freedom on set you only have when you have the freedom, and you have that freedom only when you have prepared everything. So you don't need to think of anything actually on the day, because you prepared anything. You know everything you need to do, and only then you have the freedom to actually like be spontaneous and be like,
for sure.
You know what? I know we need the close up, but actually let's just get a wide of it and let's do a one take also, like from this whole scene, because I'm like, that could be nice. But if you're doing that on the set, then you're gonna forget stuff. You're gonna notice, oh shit, we wanted that close up. And so decisions, having made them before, gives you all the freedom.
Of course,
on the day.
Of course, and I think this is truer and truer the bigger your projects get, because like you can get by and like having little preparation for like smaller stuff, but as soon as you have a director, DOP, then you get a gaffer, then the gaffer has like 2 crew, and then stuff like this. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Of course, you'll have, as you said, a little bit of freedom within the sandbox you defined. That means that we don't necessarily have to like plan everything like to the dot, but have like the overall idea of like what you're doing. So what preparation is like for you? Let's say you have like you shoot a small commercial, maybe like very small crew. You have you, director, gaffer, maybe 2, maybe AC, first AC, and like a couple runners. Like what do you do to make sure the project runs smoothly when you shoot it?
It's so much. I don't know, where do you start? I mean, if we're also producing, then it's like you need to know the story, you need to brief the director, and you need to be on the same page. That's the first thing. And then discuss with, like you said, you need to discuss with the client, so everybody's the client's really understanding what you're trying to do. Because one thing is like showing them a PDF and telling them how cool this film will be, but the other is then seeing that film and be like, we didn't know this, and we expected it to be kind of like this. So so everybody is on the same page is already like a big part.
But as a DP,
and then as a DP, if you go in on that, then it's a lot like, what's the visual, what's the style overall, where is it gonna be, like where is it gonna be shown, what I mean, I'm just going like across like everything, not in order or anything, but then aspect ratios, where is it going to be shown, what distance, is it going to be a cinema, is it going to be digital out of home, is it going to be an Instagram on a small screen, and then what's the visual style, what's actually story, who's it for, and what's the message in it, and how can we convey this message. And then also very technical, like you go and where do we shoot? What's the conditions? Is it outside, inside? Is there sun? Is there rain? I mean, sometimes you don't know, but is there power? Is there no power? Is there, for sound people, is there any sources of noise that you don't want, that you have to figure out how to do it? Is there other people? Is there just power? Is there outlets? How much cord do we need? What gear do we need? How are we going to handle it? Who is going to do what? I think that's also a big part, that at the beginning, that's why film sets have such strictly designated people for each task, because on film sets it's very hectic. Everything needs to go very fast, and with like very tight schedule. So everybody needs to know exactly what they're there to do, and figuring out how we're going to shoot this and how much people, what crew we need. And then also telling that to the people, like, look, for this, it's very important that we're going to have the Steadicam set up very fast. And we only have 5 minutes of this like light we need, or 10 minutes. And then everybody needs to be on board. And all these decisions make projects that we all like look up to and we like the way they are, because they're prepared to the last minute. I mean, just the other day I talked to a photographer and he was talking to me about he's just prepping. He's also a director, I think, and he was directing this ad for something, and he was telling me, yeah, we're missing 33 minutes of sunlight because we have like every minute of the day like planned through, and like we're missing 34 minutes, and we need to make it up for. I mean, if you told this to me like 8 years ago, I would be like, what?
Just
You're planning
faster.
like minutes?
Yeah.
You're planning like by minute? And, you know, that's the only way you can make the nice stuff.
So if we try to
that
like,
people do.
for people who are not really familiar with this, or people just starting out and like evolving from like a smaller crew to like a big crew, usually what we have is as DPs, you're oftentimes getting hired after the whole concept of the video has been made, and the director has done like discussed with the agency like what they want to do, the overall direction and stuff. So at that point, oftentimes the director is going to hire you out as a DP, and this is when you'll be able to like bring in some of the look and feel you want to bring, discuss with the directors and stuff. This part of pre-prod is really important because like you can take almost as much time as you want just to define stuff, because like in terms of money, there's not a lot of money spent on this because it's just you and the director. So you define list like maybe lenses, camera choices. You can start thinking about the shot list. They might have a storyboard-ish that they've made already, but then as a DP, you go over it and you say, okay, we shoot in this order. We'll have this shot is impossible to make. This shot is very difficult. So let's switch it. Instead of a tight, let's do wides and stuff like this. So this is all the pre-production part. And then after that, there's a big thing called location scouting, or like tech recce and stuff. And this is essentially when you, the agency, the director, and maybe the head gaffer are going to go and look at the spots, the locations you're going to be shooting in. And this is where like all the technical elements are taken into consideration, as you mentioned, like, is there enough power supply, the height of the ceiling, can we bring like 8 bys or 12 bys, or is it going to be only 6 bys? Where is the sun going to be? Where all the technical aspects, the length, the width of the room and stuff like this, where are we going to put catering, where are we going to put this? So this is a tech recce, and this is really important because this scouting session is going to influence most of the gaffer's choices in terms of like equipment they can bring. It's going to affect the shot list as well in terms of like when we shoot what, because we know the sun's location. If we want to shoot when the sun is like backlighting us, or when the sun is hidden behind trees and stuff. So this is very important. And then basically this is where you fine tune the details of like how you're going to shoot, and with what you're going to shoot and how you're going to shoot it. And this is one of the most important thing. And I think as a tip for like all the people coming up, it's really important to budget this in your estimate or your quote or stuff. Right. Some people charge full day, some people charge half day. That's up to you, but just like have a little bit of time allocated to this in your offer. Because
to the scout and preparation.
Yeah, scout.
Because that's also what's going to make, like we said, the project better.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, for example, also, just a small example, but if you do the scout and you have your gaffer, DP, director there, you discuss everything. Okay, wide shots first, when to shoot first this, because the sun is there, and then it's going to be hidden, then we can do the close-ups. By knowing all that, you can come to set with the shot list, and like when you arrive on set, every department arrives on set, everybody already knows what to do. You're not there, okay guys, so the first shot is here. You're already losing time.
Yeah.
Then you can set up there. First we need the light here, because if you're discussing all that on the expensive day of shooting, when all the people are getting paid and there, and you're
losing so much money.
Actors and locations, and you're losing so much time. But if you do it like 3 or 4 people, producer, director, DP, gaffer, if only these 4 do the prep, it's much cheaper and it's much smoother on the day.
Yeah.
Because really, that was one of the biggest difference I noticed when first time being on a big set. People arrive, and through some magical way, everybody knows where to go.
Yeah.
Everybody just knows exactly what's up, and you're the PA, like, what the fuck's going on? How did you know that? Preparation.
Exactly.
And I think that makes a big difference. Also, just for like I said, creative freedom. That's really like going on set and you don't have to think anything. You prepare. You have everybody knows already what to do, and if stuff comes up, which will, you actually have the time to, deal with it because everything else is sorted out.
And that's very true. I just wanted to add one thing because we talked about the tech recce and like really like looking at like where you set the lights, where you set the camera and stuff, but. It's part of the producer role, but also I think the DOP's role or the directors to some extent, but oftentimes less than that. But also it's important to look at like the surrounding of the location. Because sometimes I've been on a few, not that many, but a few shoots where the production company had like the really good looking location for the script. And it was really nice. Everything as dreamed of basically, but the location was not convenient enough for us. For instance, no elevator and on the 4th floor, or really noisy environment that you couldn't see on pictures, but we had to shoot interviews in there, or no parking spots available and stuff like this around it. And I think it's your role as either producer, if they're good, they're gonna do that, but as DP as well to raise those flags. Because
and ask the questions like, where can we park?
Exactly.
How do we get the equipment in?
Because like if let's say you have like a gaffer that comes with a gaffer truck, or like even if it's just his car, but like all the stuff in his car, and like you're moving from one location to another, and like we don't want to take out like all the stuff out. If it takes like 15 minutes to go down, get the stuff in the car, and go up, you lose basically like at the end of the day probably like an hour of shoot.
And also, if you didn't prepare this. You're going to arrive on set and already be late because you arrive on set and then like, oh, wait, there's no parking spots. And then you're going to call the producer or director or whatever and be like, dude, where can we park? I'm behind the house. And then the director is like, go behind the, what do you mean? And then he has to come down from the, 3rd floor from the set and he has to come down. You're losing so much time, which could have been saved by just 10 minutes looking at parking spots and telling everyone, putting in the call sheet or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is so crucial, I think. And also that just came to my mind. It's a big part of like on set with the clients most of the times. That's what is going to make the experience with shooting with you different from maybe someone who didn't do that. Because I've been on many shoots as well where just production companies or agencies or just other people that I'm collaborating with didn't have that experience yet and didn't prepare enough. And then you're there. And the client is annoyed because just a small thing can happen. Like, oh, yeah, we still need to find that location in the forest. And like, when are we gonna find it? We're on such a tight schedule shooting whatever we're shooting. First of all, when are we gonna find this? And then you have waiting time, and the client is like, just doesn't feel really prepared and professional. And if you have that. Yeah. Just like me on that set, the first time as a PA, the client likely is going to be like, wow, everybody knows what to do and they're just so prepared and they're not even talking that much. Yeah. And like, remember on our set, the AC, he was like talking to us about how, like, you were the DP, I was gaffing for you on CCAP. Yeah. And the AC was like telling you, hey, it's crazy how little you talk, and how much you understand of like exactly what you want, and that was also a big part. Preparation is key, but and I think that's just to wrap it with the client. That's a big part also how to make your clients very happy. Just a smooth shooting day. Yeah, all preparation. Exactly, and I think to like build up on like the smooth experience for the client and like smooth experience for like everyone. I think. Preparation is like the most important thing, but also communication on set is really important. That means that as soon as you notice something is not going right or wrong, you have to inform like the people that are in charge of like either the first AD or like, producer or whoever, that you might have to like adjust things. Because like as prepared as you can be, most of the time your plan is gonna be a little bit altered. To some extent, either you have to like scratch off like one shot of something just because you took a little bit more time, or maybe for some reason like the fuses go off and like you have to go and whatever the case may be. Just like preparation is really important. Communication is as important on the day, because film sets and like ad sets or whatever, like oftentimes you will have issues about something, and like since
everything we do is such on a tight schedule. Like just being able to like say, for instance, you can tell like the gaffer like, okay, scratch this. We're gonna do instead of like moving all the diffusion and stuff, we're gonna reshoot the thing in the same spot, like whatever. Like try to find solutions and be solution oriented. And I think that's like building up on like the preparation is just like communication as well.
100%. Yeah, that's a big part.
Yeah.
But something just came to my mind, but I forgot.
But for like everybody who's starting out now, and like it's very like it's good that you understand that preparation is important, and as you progress in your career, like the people around you will understand it as well. And like the bigger sets you're on, the more people will be familiar with this concept, and like the
more is required also.
The more is required as well. So maybe the first job you're gonna get through an agency, maybe they're not really experienced with producing. I've worked with agencies before that were not really specialized in video, but they were still making videos, like smaller stuff, and you basically have to like take their hands and like explain this whole process as we just did.
Exactly, yeah.
And understand that this is not going to be always the case. Like sometimes if you want to be like a gaffer or something, sometimes everything is going to be given to you, and like the bigger sets you get on, or same for DPs and stuff. So also, don't give up if you're in a place where it's like kind of
getting better.
Yeah, it's going to get better.
What also just came to my mind, a big part is also on like smaller productions. I noticed where you're already kind of short on people. You maybe you only have a gaffer, and you don't get like, or you have an AC but not a second AC. So basically the first AC is already kind of doing two jobs, needing to go get stuff, change batteries, and which is actually the job of the second AC. Maybe doing the clap, small stuff that is easy on a small set to take over, but it can add up and be very hard. And what I noticed is it really helps to make it clear, even if the first AC knows what a first AC does, but on a specific set, to make it clear what the certain jobs of the person is. Like maybe the first AC is used to not do clapping because there's a second AC, and then discussing like, I would be happy like if you could do the clapping, but I'll just do the camera settings. You don't need to like change anything. I'll do it. Just I would love for you to change the lenses and batteries, just to communicate what you're expecting from the people, and what they are expecting from you. And also that way, if you have a PA, kind of like making sure the PA knows also what kind of their job is, and because maybe the PA needs to clap as well, the slate, because you don't have a second AC and stuff like that. Because as soon as stuff comes up and it hasn't been communicated, that can throw the whole production in like,
yeah, for sure, 100%.
over, because then it's like, oh, we forgot the key. Who's going to get the key? Because if the PA goes, then we don't have a clapper for the slate. And it's like a chain reaction that happens because you don't have spare people, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times has... in my experience, has fucked a lot of productions, like just being stressed for like half an hour because you have one piece is missing and you don't know who's going to get, because somebody's going to be missing. And then
that's why I think it's always nice to have like a couple, like budget for a couple extra PAs or runners, people that don't necessarily have a lot of experience, but you can just like teach them on the fly real quick, like something they can do. They could be students, or they can be like, friends,
or people that
that are just interested in
that want to learn, want to make experiences on set.
And even if like they don't do anything for like half the day, but like half the other day they help out. That's
and there's always someone needed somewhere.
Yeah, but I think it always comes down, and I think we talk about it a lot, to the client understanding the requirements for production also, and the process for production to go well. Because if you just come up and like you're asked as, I don't know, like a DP to like shoot something, and then you send a rate, let's say it's a 2-day shoot, you have the 2-day shoot rate, okay, you might have your camera package, okay, but then you have like a full day of recce, for instance, and then you might have like half a day for pre-prod or whatever. And like for clients that are not really versed in like film production, it might be like, why is he charging me like...
The last guy came for
exactly
$500 and just shot it.
Exactly.
What
and
are you talking about?
educating the clients and sometimes even production companies, to be honest. Like, it's like at least around here, agencies,
More agencies. Yeah.
agencies, like they understand video production to a certain extent. Sometimes they hire out to a production company, but sometimes they try to produce
themselves, yeah.
in-house. And this is where like these misconceptions happen. And what's shitty though is that sometimes agencies validate the budget before they before they have a clear budget with everybody's quote in there.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because like you get pitched and you get, okay, we do this for like 30K. But then maybe they oversold something, you know, and then this is where you have to like find ways to like be able to like do all the due diligence and like the preparation you have to make within budget. Educating those agencies, educating like production companies to a certain extent and clients, I think is like key to like in the future having better production.
And also to kind of how do you say, you know, to how do you say that? To make sure they understand, like to go around it, to make sure they understand why it costs that much. Like you mentioned, you know, if you're explaining them, look, in order to do this and that, we need to scout, because if we don't scout, like we said before, we're not going to know where the plug is, if there's power, where the sun is going to be, blah, 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 blah. And if you're educating them and helping them understand the process better, they will, first of all, look at you as a much more professional in whatever you do. And it'll be like, okay, that's the difference. Why this videographer that came and charged $500, charged $500, and the DP is charging, I don't know, 2K, because he has this experience and because he does this whole process, which the videographer didn't. And
I understand for like people that don't really understand the added value of having like specified people or like working on specific jobs and stuff. If you look at the end results and you're not really familiar with video and stuff, it's still a video at the end of the day, you know.
Of course.
So sometimes you like watch something someone did for like 500 and it's like, yeah, but we did this and it works just fine. But okay, but if you want to be better looking, nicer, with like better, like, you know,
if you're not in need of the more expensive, then for sure you're not going to pay more.
Exactly.
But if you're in need and you notice somehow it's not working out, then that's what you're doing wrong, probably.
I just have to check because I have a delivery.
Ooh, what are you waiting for? Pizza?
No, it's
heart transplant? What? A heart transplant?
No. There's a shoot in the studio in next week, and they have to build walls for a set. Yeah. And there was some delay with
So they sent it to your studio already?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But there are some delays.
You're gonna keep the walls?
Yeah, but I think it's just one wall. But it's nice because you can paint it.
On wheels?
Yeah. Ooh. But I think it's going to be 2 people to move it because it's like a 5 meters by 4 meter. No, 5 by 3.5 meter.
So 5 wide?
5 wide.
3.5 high?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's nice because so I don't have to paint the white walls and stuff. We're going a little bit off topic now. Sorry.
No pizza though. Sad.
No pizza.
Yeah, but that kind of wraps it up why it's so important to prepare. And I hope, or we hope, that gave you kind of like an insight on maybe what you can prepare more and why it's so important, and why people always say that preparation is key and it's everything on a film set. Yeah,
and try to implement that in your workflow if you're starting off. And we understand that it's not as easy as it sounds. Just like, okay, just add X amount of money for pre-prod, but in a few years you'll get there. And
sure, how much, like, you'll see how much more freedom you'll have on set and how much more creative you can actually be when
and less
the boring
stress
stuff is out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right now.
See you next week.